Welcome back. There was a gamer. I ran into a gamer. What I tried to do was I tried to give myself an idea of how the map works. And when I messed around with the map, the game crashed. That's something I'm very particularly happy about, but gives me a chance to talk to this guy, because I didn't talk to him. You have a nice outfit, but can I talk to you?
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news.
He looks like Dr. Fauci without the glasses.
Actually, yes. We met once before at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett.
Oh,
yes,
New York! Wow.
I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
Pembroke.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
Making a nest.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the manager?
I got more shit unlocked just for talking to him about that shit. Wow.
He does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Crisis.
I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
I mean, there's something really strange about that. The fact is that they're dealing with their own pandemic in the game.
I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
I unlocked something for what's her face. Her?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Whoa! Whoa!
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left for Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Yo! Yo!
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
I feel like the place is like falling apart. Read that. Read that. Not cough in public. That is some serious shit. To be noted. What am I say? Oh. I'm going to myself some food. I need to go to the back of the hospital, not inside the hospital. Yes. Or is that's a fence line where I can't get around to the backyard. However, I can go around to the back here.
It's locked.
Interesting.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
interesting. This game's got some serious, backdrop to it. It's very interesting. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a play, you know, for spoops and stuff like that, and oh my god, the spoops started out right as I began the game. Why is this door open, and why is that door open? What? Now, it's basically like a Sherlock Holmes sort of style listing game. You have to use your vampire stuff to understand certain situations. It's got a mystery to it, a really big mystery. Like, you start out kind of trying to escape people trying to kill you, and then you find out that you're a vampire, and then it's like, you're like, wait, but I was like a detective slash doctor, so it's like, there is a kind of like a connection to Sherlock Holmes. And you have this is pretty cool. It's called like the senses of vampires and stuff, where you can see like what vampires see, which is basically like in the shadows. And he's pretty much got like these abilities that makes him uniquely interesting. I mean, right now I'm running around because I am an explorer, and I am trying to get every thing I can before it throws me into another hellfire. Like, public notice: prevent influenza. Cover each cough and sneeze with handkerchief. Walk to work. Do not spit. Drink from your own cup. Avoid crowds. If taken ill, go to bed and send for a doctor. How to make a mask. Do you know how that is making me laugh right now? Because we're dealing with like the Spanish flu. And so all you see all you see in this is like, don't cough in public. And you're like, oh. It's a flu. There goes a plane over my head, over my head. It says hello.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Oh my god.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howard?
Oh, it's
Never.
fine.
It's
I'll be
a
here.
mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard.
I just had to make myself a little snack.
Delusional. They believe that they are putrefied, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
No. I'm a vampire, but
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howard?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
oh,
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
oh.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Yeah, because I was in here before and no one was roaming. I mean, speaking of which, Her name's Thelma. What the fuck?
It's locked.
It's set to investigate that person. And I can't investigate them. Like, here he goes. Wait a second. Wait a second. I'm feeling like I should be like, you know...
It's locked, all right.
Please come back later.
Oh, I didn't hear you the first time! Wait a second. That particular red splosh is gone. What the fuck did I miss? Did I have to be outside for that? Haha, gang, you were so... Who is this, Edward? Oh, it's Edward. Hello?
Hey, did you want to go with me to that trunk or treat thing tonight?
I don't know.
If not, that's okay.
I mean...
I gotta work tomorrow after class too, so, like I said, I was just curious if you wanted to go.
Yeah. I don't know, I'll think about it.
Okay, well, I love you. Bye bye.
Like... Wait a second. So, it expected me to come up here just in time. Where did that doctor go? Unknown. But I want to investigate. I want to investigate. Where'd that little dick go? There's an unknown. For now. Douchebag better not go back up the stairs when I go in here. You're an unknown.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how
That speaks
qualified you
COVID
are, don't tell
on a
me
really
to
high
trust.
level.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Too much energy for so little result.
I cannot enter.
I wonder why the gospels came in.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Surgery can help you. Beauty is not everything. You can't hide forever. So basically, I'm just trying to tell him that surgery can help. Beauty is not everything.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
And failed. Ugh.
Tell me what really happened.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. Her arm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. Frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion make me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul.
I feel like I don't have to ask all these questions, but it's like, I want to make sure that I asked the, what I needed to. Whoa, I have all his things unlocked.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your name.
I manage a night train homeless at the docks, and I try to guide the
Going to class.
on the
Huh?
right path.
Going to class?
No, it's not class tonight. It's just the trunk or treat thing.
Oh, right.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Oh boy.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say.
Hot in here, John.
Not mine, anyway.
It's 82 degrees.
Damn it.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Whoa!
Goodbye, Doctor.
He's a traitor. Well, not traitor. He's a traitor. Where did that guy go? Oh, he's right there. But I seriously thought I was...
If only I was young again. Just a dozen years or so.
Find your office on the second floor. I can find my office on the second floor and be able to evolve. Look at 940, but I need to get to 1,000 for certain things to be upgraded. So I can go. I'm just spying on Oma. Oh, he's going back upstairs. What's he doing?
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time? That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
My God. I have something to talk to you about. I wasn't spying on you. You and me have to talk.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You were taking drugs.
Why take such a risk?
I needed to endure the long shifts. We have no idea how long the epidemic will last. We can't let it win.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Why is that still blue?
I know you're taking drugs, Corcoran. Why take such a risk?
I needed to endure the long shifts. We have no idea how long the epidemic will last. We can't let it win.
Oh, it's because I hit this in the middle of it.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
It still fits.
Why wouldn't it fit?
I don't know, you were complaining about your arms getting too big.
My arms getting too big? Oh my god.
Yeah.
For God's sake, what are you thinking? How can you be so irresponsible?
Irresponsible? I am devoted to my work. I am doing this for all the patients who need our help. I cannot abandon them.
Goodness gracious, man.
Goodbye, Dr. Timmons.
My god, man.
Alright, I'll see you in a little.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my wallet and my phone. Okay. Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Always. I got my mask, so... Can you close the door behind me? I'll lock it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Time to get back to it. Are there any part of the hospital that I cannot get to? Like, this door over here is locked. That's why it's red. Like over here. Stand so I can talk to you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Now I know who he is.
Good
I
evening,
think I
sir.
talked to everyone.
I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Let you down, my boy.
Do not cough in public. I can see my reflection in the mirror. That's interesting.
It's locked, all right.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
So the bright
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
Wow!
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Oh my god. His sisters.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I'm not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidam.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Got an economic formula, which I think I'm gonna need. Maybe I could get the gap opium as a sedative. So I could buy all of these. I think the formula is going to come in handy. So I need to buy that off of him.
Ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost.
Those are, it's kind of, interesting how you asked that question, because I'm still learning the basic of this game and how it actually interacts with, certain things and selling and trading. Like you saw in that store that, he had, oh, he's gonna go somewhere. Hide to spy on people.
You don't mind if I search your pockets, do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir, and I thank you for your generous donation.
So, basically, you collect all this stuff. Yeah, that guy was very sick. So you collect this stuff, which is basically weapon modules. This is what I need to, upgrade weapons that I have. Which I had to put to the workbench that's in his place that I had to find that's upstairs or some shit like that where his room is gonna be. So there's the that components. But then over here you have the samples ingredients, which is basically medicines and stuff. So when I go into here, not here, but where is it? Where is it? Oh my god, I don't remember where it is. Okay, so, he has abilities. They're pretty cool. He's...
Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Oh, I guess I didn't read a document I picked up. So, there's these pretty much like people in here, and he's a doctor, but he also helps with things while he's trying to avoid the fact of telling people that he's a vampire. Only the main doctor here knows that he's a vampire because he picked him up. But I do like his like Sherlock sort of like detective like doctor outfit.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
I wonder if I can give him the...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
On every street corner. Daily routine.
This door's still locked, it's red. I'll talk to you.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do I have anything else new to talk to you about? No?
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse.
You see how he does that? Like that.
The rules say I won't be allowed to work.
Get into the head question sort of thing. That's his vampire ability. Like, you know, like how Dracula can get in your head.
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by.
I mean, when I saw the trailers and when they were talking about this to come out, like as a vampire sort of game, I was just like, that sounds unique. That sounds awesome. You have, like here, you have to actually use your vampiric abilities. You can go around and you can get the information about these people by talking to other people. Or you can, secretly find out what they are by taking their blood. It's horrifying, but I need to go back outside and talk to that guy that was robbing the bodies. Oh my god. I don't...
Bodies will arrive. Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Is it in here? No. Is it in here? Yes! He was stealing from the dead!
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
Dr. Swanson should be informed. Now, should I inform that he's stealing from the bodies to resale, make money off of the dead for the profit sort of thing? Should I let him know this, or should I just be like, show respect for the dead? I don't know. It's like, I'm like, do I... Oh. So respect for the dead? Yes.
You should show respect for the dead. What about their loved ones who may treasure these items you sell?
The bodies I watch over are the unwanted and undesired, sir. I would never deprive anyone of their family artifacts.
But you lie. So what if he's got new things to trade since I saw him pulling shit off the bodies?
Goodbye.
I don't know. Did you say he was managing a train, not a morgue? I'm not that bad of a vampire. What the shit? So I did go outside because of she said something about vampires going after her, but what is that? know. I know, that's why I was like, should I tell the doctor that he's stealing off of the bodies? I couldn't make that quick. I just couldn't. He's a rank 7. I don't know about this. 4, 5, 6, 7. I could probably take him on. Not really. I can't even open the fucking door. Oh no, I can. Wait, what is this? A watch.
Over there! There's one.
Not here.
Right, vermin!
Interesting. Thing is, I'm stealing things too. I'm looting people's like corpses and shit, so why would it be? Well, these people are actually bad, so they don't need stuff. I need stuff. Oh! They were watching her! She wasn't lying. Was I just getting random shit just for standing over here? Okay. Woo woo! I need to find that room they have for me that's up in the, up on the second floor. I need to find that room. Find the local command post of the guard of the pre-wing? Enter at your own risk! Whitechapel Street. Curfew! Curfew will be around at 9 p.m. by the church bells. All citizens will be kept off the streets in the time from until 5 a.m. until further notice. A citywide curfew has been implemented. It is imperative that you wear your mask to prevent the spread of the infection. COVID is imperative. Any member of your household becomes ill, inform the authorities immediately. Oh no! COVID! Going there yet? Wait, is that the second floor? I want to go up there! Oh hell! I'm stealing before he steals. Ah! So, my vampire guy has an ability to jump on platforms that are outside. Like when I go over here, this fucking hospital's huge. See over here, it gives me the option where I can fly up here. And I'm like, yeah, badass, I'm up here. But okay, someone poked your blanket. But I go over here. Stupid thing is telling me that that looks lovely. Entrance is right there. But that flickering light says that's my home. I don't understand. Like, he doesn't want to go upstairs. Hi.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived.
Well, it's not the best friggin' hospital. I mean, you could go to other hospitals if you have the money.
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude at the start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your stupor.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide such crucial information?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail. I can't let that happen.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you, then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
You're an unknown doctor. Huh. Let me talk to you.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland.
Oh, Strickland is one of the people that are having an argument with what's-his-face.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run
This
my
is
own
a very
experiments.
enthusiast sort of doctor. comparative to the other one being like, I'm not okay with this. As I sink back into the table, what made you choose that career?
What made you choose to be a doctor? I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Oh, okay.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True.
I have to admit, the entire graphic of the game doesn't go well with his graphic. It's as if these were all quick render designs of people, and he was the only one they maintained on his detail. Because you look at that character to the right, and then you look at him, he looks well detailed, like perfectly detailed compared to the one on the right, and I'm like,
do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Hey, Burbs! Hey, Burbs! They made a freaking mess, I tell you.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Oh my god.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Oh my god!
Could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree.
I'm also to admit his suit.
Behavior. A man who
His
did not even
suit
take time to converse
is
with
the
his
same
patient,
pattern
even keeping
as
his
the
distance
suit
was a
I
mistake.
have. I just
What
do
I
not
am
have the
taking care of
jacket.
human beings with desires, hopes, and fears.
I don't have the jacket.
Some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
The fuck?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I got more information about you.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to
I should cosplay him. Give myself a fucking beard. With my dark hair color, I could probably do it. He's got that slick hair back. I mean, it's pretty easy. The style they did. Did you voluntarily hurt yourself?
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double.
But no, that entire, like, undersuit.
German bomb raid.
I have a 3-piece suit, but he's got the 3-piece, but he's got the fucking pea coat to go with it.
You can't
And I've been
hold
looking for a
yourself
friggin' pea coat because of Peaky Blinders. So I'm like,
Of course I didn't.
and then I find one and I'm like,
but I can't work until my
I can't afford it.
My children need to eat, Doctor.
Oh look, someone wearing a mask in the background.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the
Also, this guy that's talking for Harvey right now is the same voice actor that plays in most of the RPG games. Like, I remember his voice in The Witcher. I remember his voice in Mass Effect. It's like that very...
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that my kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
It's a very, like,
Oh, sweet girl.
pinstripe
Makes me like a book.
wool.
I never could keep anything from her. I'm so glad. Will this shift never end?
Now, there's 2 merchants. What? Oh, that's right, because of that one guy said something about, I can always travel back to one of my old... It's in the Whitechapel area. High resale value. I'm going to remind you that I pulled that out of the trash can. That small bag of junk. And it's worth a high resale value. Or I can recycle it into material components, which I possibly should do. Since those are the... I don't think I read this. Awesome. Have fun. Man, when I asked you to ambulance to bring you to the hospital, don't worry about nothing except getting better. I took care of everything. There's 2 unknowns walking around. He's someone I need to make a treatment for. Fun. Find your office on the 2nd floor. How are you still busy?
I cannot enter. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
I'll look copy some of your notes concerning what I've discovered about Akon in the last years. Feel free to read about it if you need some guidance, as long as you don't use your knowledge they take advantage of me. So there's a, think there's a way to where I can...
It needs water.
Okay. How do you get water? Huh. Dude! Oh my goodness! So I need to still get the sodium and the quinine, stupid stuff.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching.
The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Yeah? How do you give it water? How do you give it water?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
It's gonna drive me up the wall bonkers to figure out that. Oh man. I didn't even break. I'll be back again later.